This is going to be the second part of greasing the bearings. Now this is not from Enfield, but just as an example I thought I should share of how we will be proceeding. You see these needles, so what we have to do is quite simple. Take the grease and just keep rubbing it in. You should feel the needles moving basically, so that once they move they will all get greased up, and some residual, I mean some grease can also get beneath these needles and on this side. So that can only happen once you are properly rotating them. This techniques help better at one place. Yeah, don't worry about the excess grease, don't use too much of it, but yeah, that's the idea. I'll show you why you don't have to, and again we'll be covering that once I'm doing it on the Himalayan. So that's the idea. Now this looks good enough, and once you'll be putting in this bush, all the excess grease is gonna get pushed out any which ways like this, which we can at later point use to grease the inner of this, because the nuts are gonna go in there, and so that there is no rusting or anything. So now let's move on and let's finish up the Himalayan one. Idea is not to go overboard with anything. I mean, you get the idea. Any residual grease should be, and just rub it in. Yeah, I mean, yeah, do rub it in. But after that, whatever remains, like this is gonna need some more. Once you have cleaned it properly, these are gonna need some more of it. So you get the point. This is the same way every single other bearing is gonna get greased. Yeah, so this is where we are. This was how much excess there was. Now again, we need some grease going inside that as well, so that there is no rusting or anything. Do remember that. So this screw, just use it. That's done. This will have to be cleaned, so you can use just one nut there to grease that one as well, so that this can be clean and then put back. Don't just try and put the nuts on this one back, because obviously you won't be getting the exact torque and everything, but you get the point. So let me get all of these things done. So these have been greased. Now moving on to greasing these. So yeah, and putting these back in. So you get the point. Again, greasing them, not too excess, not too little. Now there is one thing that you should remember and you should not fiddle with, which I should mention. You see, this is where this bracket ends, and this is where this bracket ends. Now the bearings are right here, one here, one here. Now they could have provided a longer bearing here, but they have not, and it is leaving some gap. I hope you can see that. So don't worry about that. Just put some grease in there so that there is no rusting and no space. That one is okay, no problem with that one. That's in place. All the rubber O-rings and everything are very close to the bearing, but this one will have some gap on this side as well as on. So basically they have been greased and these are getting put back in. So this one is there, you get the idea. This one is gonna go in there as well. Now obviously on the other side you would see some residual. It is not too much of excess, so yeah, the idea is whatever comes out, just put it back in. We'll be greasing the other axle as well, but you get the idea. The axle that goes into these, so yeah. So let's put it all back together. Now this goes without saying, but at this time these need to be checked, the dust seals on the swing arm. If there is any damage or any water retention, I mean which can cause water retention, you need to replace them. But these seem okay, there is no damage, no cut, no nothing. This was the side that was getting damaged because this was on the lower side, so this time I'll put this portion on the lower side. I hope you understand that. So yeah, would just be greasing these and this second one as well, and then they are gonna go in. Now first off, simply this is gonna go in like this, then this 14 mm one is gonna go in there. Okay, some extra grease has come out, that was bound to happen. Now that's the 17 mm one on the other side, so you get the point, and the same would be done on the other side as well. This bushing is gonna go in there, so that's done. Next up, as you see, the swigarm is almost ready. Now this is gonna go in politely, can't be messing about, and these are the dust seals which are gonna go on the either sides. Now again, here we go, 1, 2. Now let's move on. Rest is lifting it up. Well, yeah, single-handedly it is quite a bit of an issue, and do keep that this axle almost in. Now I'm going to be needing that wooden block to support it that I had shown earlier, this thingy, and now I have to get this. There you go. This bracket has been removed for the time being. This is gonna go in there, and now this spindle, as you can see, was moved out, will go in, and now we can put this dust seal. Yes, at this point another set of hands will come in handy. So we are here, and now we have to get the spindle in. Yeah. So getting this in is a bit tricky, no doubt. I'm sitting on the ground, as you see, but this is coming along thus far. Some alignment is needed because it is not going all the way through. As you can see, this has to go a lot in, but that's okay. So let me move on. I have to see from there what's going on actually, and I'll be pushing it in. So yeah, it's all the way through. I mean, just some jiggery pokery is required, but you can get it through. So everything from there to there is back in, and this is where you can see it there, and on this side. So now I'll be tightening this. Okay, so that spindle has been tightened. This was the leverage that I used, another bracket here, so you get the point. Now I can move it out, and this is done. Now we can move on and put this in. So I've removed the wooden bracket that stands there, you get the point. Now we can simply just get it aligned and get it in. Now, yeah, that's the point, but other one has to go in as well. Now I'd have to go that side, so I would have to wiggle the swing arm a bit. You get the point, so let me get that in as well. So those have been tightened. Next up would be tightening this one again, 14 mm, holding on this side. Gonna go this way and holding it back with a 17 mm spanner. So all these have been tightened. Now moving on, we can start packing things up slightly. Small tip for putting these caps back on. You might have seen some bikes where these have fallen off. That does happen. So very small tip, use this kind of super glue. This is Fevikwik, but don't use too much. Just one tad bit of drop, and that's it. That one drop will hold it in place, and remember where it was, so that next time when you are pulling, you would remember where it is. Just hold it for some time, because these do tend to get loose and fall out, and this is gonna hold in place. Now same way, I'll be putting up the cap on the other side as well. Let's get this done. This is another important thing to remember though. These brackets for chain adjustment, please do not use any oil or any grease on them. This is the mark These are the linings that you see as the identifiers of how much you need to adjust. It is going to stay on the outside. Just don't use any grease or anything there. Just remember that, because this is open, so it will accumulate dirt, dust, everything, and then it will act as abrasive. It will make a kind of a grinding mixture, and that is not going to be good. And same for the other side. This would go in as well. And next up will be how to just clean and grease and maintain the basic rear brake caliper and the mount and everything. So that is the next video that I'll be starting. Tire has been put back, disc pads have been changed. The video would either get it will get uploaded. It has been recorded. This did not need any covering, so there's a separate video for brake caliper maintenance and all that. And the tube has been changed. That was actually what I was running on. So just FYI, in emergencies, as you see, 2.75 300, that's an 18-inch. That's, usually it is a 17-inch tire, but in emergency cases you can run it on that as well. So the chain has also been cleaned. As you see, there's the link and the O-rings. I've removed this cover. So next up would be closing up the bike after the suspension, bearing greasing and all. So let's move on. This is going to be simple. Just roll the chain from over that. So there we go. It's been placed there as well. Now I'll just simply move, getting it from under here, and this is where we have, so the link will go in now. Might have to loosen the chain a bit. We'll see if that should make it. Just remember to put in the O-rings if these have come out. There are O-rings on this side, so that's not a problem, but this one I have here. Now, one small recommendation: you can put in some grease on these. So as you see, some grease has been put. So there you go. O-ring placed back, and inserting it in, and then stretching it, and it came out easily, so should go in easily as well. Yeah, here we have it. On top of that, we would put this clamp back. Which was the side? Yeah, this side. That's in, and finally the lock will slide in. Now remember to put it this way, and then again using a plier I'll push this in. There you have it. Link is back in place, chain is rolling. Does it need adjustment? Nah, looks fine. So I'll just be tightening the axle nut, placing the mud guards and everything back now. Chain guard in. Next would be the lower one. 10 mm would be used to tighten these. So yeah, everything is back and good to go. Now that was it. Thanks for watching, and by the time, of course, I'm sure the video on disc has already been uploaded. Okay, thanks, bye.